Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
Welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you again for joining us on yet another radio adventure. We have tremendous guests assembled here, so you might be listening right here in Houston, Texas, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's right. Denver, Colorado, or anywhere else. And I mentioned Pennsylvania as that is the state I am from, but also I was looking on the internet at some properties recently in central Pennsylvania and came across a real estate company called the Jennifer Hollister Group, and I found it fascinating. There are some great homes up there, and many people think right here in Houston about Colorado as a place to have a second home or other places, but being from central Pennsylvania, it is a beautiful area located to so many things: New York City, the shore, Washington, D.C., New England. So I thought it would be interesting to find out about the marketplace in central Pennsylvania. So we have as our guest today Michelle Davis with the Jennifer Hollister Group. So we're going to find out a little bit about Pennsylvania. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. Thanks so much for having me.
How about that setup? Pennsylvania is a beautiful state, and the area the area you serve. Let's tell people some of the towns and the place that you are there with the Jennifer Hollister Group.
Well, Bill, we're a top-producing real estate team in South Central Pennsylvania. We have specialized roles that allow us to offer a dynamic real estate experience to our clients. We're customer service-driven, and we deliver exceptional results, which is why almost 50% of our business comes from repeat and referral business. We mainly serve the Cumberland, Dauphin, Perry, and York County areas.
And for people that are not looking at a map, Michelle, we'll tell people, first of all, that the capital of Pennsylvania is Harrisburg, and that is, we'll call it central Pennsylvania, right? And some of these places you've mentioned are near the capital of Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. We are located just a few minutes outside of Harrisburg, and, of course, the beautiful Susquehanna River runs right by our capital city of Harrisburg. And like you mentioned, one of the things that I think sets us apart is our incredible access to major metropolitan cities like Philadelphia and D.C. and New York that are all within 1 to 3 hours. But the cost of living is so affordable here. So people can take advantage of, the beautiful mountain ranges and the Susquehanna River and the cost of living here, but have that incredible access to places nearby.
It sounds like you should be a spokesman for central Pennsylvania, Michelle. You're doing a tremendous job. And, oh, yeah.
Well, thank you. I've lived here all my life, so I appreciate that.
I love the Susquehanna River. It is a beautiful river, and it's almost like for people that are in Houston and know Austin, Texas, I always, as I grew up there right across the river from Harrisburg in a town called Camp Hill where your office is, but it reminds me of Austin. If you've not been to Austin, it, too, is a bit like Harrisburg in that it is the capital city, and you have a river. It's not the Susquehanna in Austin, but you have the river, and then you have the Capitol building right behind it, kind of, sort of. So it's really interesting, and some other parallels. But let's tell people, as far as the marketplace where you are, we think so much about Houston on this radio show and the surrounding areas, but it's nice to check beyond. What's it like right now for buyers and sellers in your marketplace?
Well, Bill, we are having an exceptional market right now. It's a seller's market. Homes under $400,000 that are in good condition and priced well, we are seeing sell in under 30 days and often with competing offers. Once you get over $400,000 in this market, it takes a little bit longer to sell homes. The demand for buyers is a little bit less over that price point. However, we happen to have a really unique lifestyle community that's over 400,000, and we're experiencing incredible sales at this community called the Porches of Allenbury, which I know you shared with me that you love swimming in the Yellow Breeches as a child, and our community sits right along the Yellow Breeches, and we're seeing a lot of people from the D.C. metropolitan, Virginia, Maryland areas come up here to purchase a home along the scenic Yellow Breeches. And, even though we're over that $400,000 price point, we're still seeing, a really outstanding number of sales.
Well, yes, we'll talk about that community. And by the way, the Yellow Breeches, for people that are listening, is a creek. And yeah, we didn't have swimming pools in my neighborhood, so we would swim in creeks and rivers and things like that, and it was super fun. But the other thing that strikes me, if someone were to go on the internet and look at some of your listings there in Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, Camp Hill, Mechanicsburg, New Cumberland, Hershey even, they look at homes, and I found this interesting when we talked about the development there in Allenbury. As I looked at other listings, what we don't have here is that some of the homes, and right there in Camp Hill, Michelle, some of those homes were built in 1900. They're still there. They've been renovated over and over. They're beautiful properties.
We have a lot of opportunity for that here. We have new home construction, but, because we are a very fast-growing area, especially here in Cumberland County. It's one of the fastest-growing counties in Pennsylvania. But like you said, there's a lot of history, a lot of rich culture ingrained in central Pennsylvania. You definitely find many, many homes that are from the early 1900s, even back to the late 1800s, that have been lovingly restored and available for sale here.
Indeed. In fact, not far from Camp Hill is where Washington crossed the Delaware. There are tons of history events that have taken place there, and it's just a great city.
Absolutely.
Let's tell people, before we talk about this Allenbury location, going back to, say, Camp Hill, again, for those listening, across the river from the capital of Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, what about new construction, say, in Camp Hill? It's a beautiful little city.
Well, Camp Hill Borough, where I know you're from, is actually not a large area for new construction because it's an old borough town, and that's where you'll find most of these homes that have been existing for a long time. In the suburbs, though, of Camp Hill, like I said, in Cumberland County, where Camp Hill is located, we are growing rapidly, and a lot of the farms that we have in Cumberland County have been developed, and there is a great opportunity in this area to build new homes at affordable prices.
And as I said at the beginning of the show, Michelle, it really is not far-fetched. Once again, as far as the proximity of where you are and where you're serving, it is not far-fetched for people to have a second home or even retire in central Pennsylvania.
Absolutely not. And, Bill, we find so many people come to Pennsylvania to retire because of the great tax benefits of Pennsylvania. We talked about if you compare the cost of living index for Pennsylvania versus some of the neighboring states like Maryland and New Jersey and Virginia, it's incredible. But we also have a 0% retirement income tax rate. So we do not tax on your 401k, any private pensions, your Social Security is not taxed, which is why, Kipling constantly rates Pennsylvania as one of their top tax-friendly states, and U.S. News and World Report continually ranks Harrisburg, Pennsylvania as one of the top places to retire because it is such a beautiful place. And then coupled with the, benefits of the retirement income not being taxed, we see a lot of people choosing central Pennsylvania to be their retirement area.
And you get 4 seasons at no extra charge. Let's tell people about this development.
We definitely experience all 4.
Yeah, in fact, I miss that sometimes being here in Houston, Texas. But let's tell people, it's called this development in Allenbury. Let's tell people about that.
Absolutely. So the Porches of Allenbury is a very unique opportunity for people to buy a home and experience resort-style living. So the Allenbury Resort, and you talked about the history of Pennsylvania, Allenbury Resort has been around. It dates back to the Crockett family actually once owned this land. And it is a few years ago, the Kennedy family purchased the Allenbury Resort and did a complete renovation. And the property is absolutely beautiful. They retain a lot of the historic features, such as the Allenbury Playhouse, where people go and enjoy theater. And there's lodging for people to stay. There's a farm-to-table restaurant that is absolutely delish. And as part of that purchase, the Kennedy family has a tract of land that they are building modern farmhouse-style homes where people can experience maintenance-free, turnkey living and access all the amenities of Allenbury Resort. And as I mentioned, have the Yellow Breeches as their backyard. So it's a really great opportunity that we just do not have any other place here in central Pennsylvania to have resort living with the level of amenities that you can get at Allenbury.
It almost sounds like high-rise living, but in a country atmosphere or in a more spacious atmosphere that's on the ground with all these amenities.
Yeah, these are all single-family detached homes, but like you said, it definitely is, an opportunity like that where people can, build a home, and you're close to everything, but you're tucked out in the countryside, and you're flanked on one side by the resort and the other side by a hobby-style farm where you can go next door and pick up range-free eggs and fresh produce. And like I said, it's just such an exceptional, unique opportunity for people that I encourage them to check out the Porches of Allenbury.
And let's tell people the website.
Absolutely. For anybody interested, please visit allenburyporches.com.
allenburyporches.com. That sounds great. And Michelle, if someone wants to reach out to you for any kind of real estate needs in Pennsylvania, what should they do?
I would encourage them to visit our website at jenniferhollistergroup.com, and they can contact us there, and we'd be happy to speak with anyone who's interested in buying or selling or investing in central Pennsylvania real estate.
Sounds good to me. You may get a call from me. Who knows? Michelle, with the last 30 seconds, what else would you like people to know?
Well, like I said, I would just encourage people to check out central Pennsylvania. It's such a beautiful area, and there's so many reasons why making a home in central Pennsylvania is a really, really great investment. We have such a stable marketplace here in central Pennsylvania. In addition to the great cost of living, we don't see the major bubble burst like some other areas do. This is a really sound area with a stable market and a great place to invest in your family home.
That sounds awesome. Michelle Davis, one more time, the website is?
JenniferHollisterGroup.com.
Thank you so much, Michelle. We're going to take a short break and come right back with even more. Stewart Insurance is proud to sponsor Real Estate Matters. As a Stewart company, we focus on uniting real estate and insurance. Our goal is for all clients to be properly insured. When you are properly insured, you're confident in the insurance decisions you make. Whether it's professional liability or homeowner's insurance, everyone deserves to be confident. We invite you to join the properly insured Stewart Insurance. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. Stewart Insurance, stewartinsurance.com. Welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Nampick. And now, meanwhile, back in Texas, we have Elizabeth Barty with the Barty Real Estate Group and Compass. Hey, Elizabeth, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Here we are, Houston, Texas. You are doing tremendous work there now at Compass. So let's tell people about your company.
So I used to be with Remax Fine Properties in Fort Bend. We primarily operate out of Fort Bend. That's South Houston, Missouri City, Sugar Land, Katy, Richmond area. But we do go all over Houston. But we moved to Compass back in August. I had started reading about this technology-based real estate company based out of New York. I know they're really big in LA as well, but they are the number one broker in New York, if I'm not mistaken. And so I started reading a lot about this and the young CEO, and I know it was some guys from Apple and Google and Rolex that merged to create this luxury-driven, technology-based real estate company, and I have absolutely loved it from day one.
It sounds like you're having a great time.
It's amazing. It really is.
And as we think about here, we are at the end of the year, and now you have a brand new chapter in your real estate life, and we're looking ahead to the 2020. I love to say that.
Isn't that crazy?
It's going to be tremendous. But let's tell you, how are you looking at the market when we look ahead and with your new chapter here with real estate?
So Compass, within my group, it's my husband. He handles all the buyers, and then myself. We do have a staff of people. We have a marketing manager and an office manager, as well as a stager and interior decorator that works with me to kind of speed some processes along. And then we have a kind of a go-to person for our marketing, videography, photography. So, Compass offers something, and it's called the Compass Concierge, and it's one of the main reasons I actually went over to them. One of the things that I'm very particular about in my listings is I will not list a home until it's show ready. I'm adamant about it. So, and when I say show ready, I mean, decluttered, if it needs to be painted, if it needs, just carpet cleaned. I'm not talking about a huge expense into a home, but there are some things obviously that need to be done. And that's why I do have a fast turnover in a lot of my properties. So, with Compass Concierge, they will actually, as long as you have enough equity in your home, Compass will front the costs of any repairs that I agree to. For instance, I have a single mom right now. She's very limited on funds. She's had 6 realtors prior to me. And at first, most realtors would say, oh, I don't know if I want to, take this, is it going to be a real headache? She is one of the sweetest people ever. And she honestly just didn't have the funds to do what she needed to the house. She's been in it for quite some time. It needed to be painted, needed some updated light fixtures. We painted the kitchen cabinetry, put some hardware on. That stuff I love. And that's why, that's kind of my baby, is to handle the listing side. But Compass actually came in because she had a substantial amount of equity in the home. And as long as the contractor has a W-9, Compass will pay them after the work is complete. And then she just pays them at the closing. They just roll it out of the equity. So there's no interest, no fees charged. It's not Compass vendors. That's the other thing a lot of people ask. It's actually, if she has a painter she's used for 15 years, as long as I know that they're going to do good work. I mean, obviously, Compass only takes on top performers. That's a big difference as well. So they trust me that I know what we're doing in these properties. And then she would have a year to pay it back. Say worst case scenario, it goes on the market and it does sit. She would have a year to actually pay those funds back.
Sounds like a real convenience feature for someone.
It's amazing.
And whether you're a single mom or not, we all have busy lives. And when we enlist the help of a real estate professional, some of that load should be lifted, so you're making it easier for your
100%.
Buyers and sellers.
Well, and I do have an amazing interior decorator, stager, that she'll actually kind of go in and help them with the process. Because again, one of the things that people feel overwhelmed too. I don't know what color carpet. I don't know what color paint on the walls, and so to help them along, it is something. It's a cost that I incur because I do feel like it's a time saver for me, but it's also beneficial for them to kind of take as much stress out of the process as necessary.
That sounds awesome. So let's tell people, as far as the marketplace right now, end of the year, new year ahead of us, we call it Fort Bend. Let's remind people, for those listening, maybe they're in Pennsylvania listening, Fort Bend, when we think of Houston, there's several loops. There's the center of the city, several loops. The Fort Bend area is where?
It's on the south side of Houston. It is one of the fastest growing areas in Houston. We're known for our master plan communities, and if you don't know what that is, it's a community that will encompass schools, commercial, everything within the community. It's a really hot commodity right now in the Houston area, and Fort Bend actually leads the market in that. Actually, Sienna Plantation, which is based out of Missouri City, is the #1 master plan community in Texas. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 3 in the U.S.
Texas is a pretty big state, last I checked.
Yes.
Amazing, right?
It's amazing.
So let's tell people, as far as sellers right now, other than getting we all want to have the home right and staged, all that. But for someone that's, let's say they have a price point of about $400,000, they're in Sugar Land, Texas, they want to sell. How are you coaching that seller right now?
It's a tough market, honestly, for sellers. It's #1 is outdoor living space. Even if you don't have a pool, let's try to make it as appealing and for the buyers coming in. Even if we have to throw a rug down in some sitting areas or a fire pit or something, everything is all about outdoor living space. So if your home is unique, it's still doing pretty well on the market. Unique meaning if it's, been updated, in the kitchen, or you have, the wood floors throughout, high ceilings, some of the things that obviously are sought after, especially a pool in Fort Bend. That's a huge one because we are family focused. They're still moving pretty well. Anything under $1 million. The luxury market has slowed down a little bit. But again, if you're doing things on the marketing side, and if your listing does have some things that are appealing, still going to move pretty well.
That sounds amazing. So as far as buyers, so it sounds like buyers have a choice and maybe some extra bargaining power.
Yeah, buyers is definitely, to me, a buyer's market. My husband deals with the buyers. I will tell you, it is very finicky with buyers as well right now, though. You have, and this is talking to a lot of my, I have a group of realtors that I stay in touch with on a regular basis that are also top performers. And one of the things that's consistent, that's very abnormal, is we have buyers that have looked at properties 3 and 4 times and won't pull the trigger on them. And I think it's just inventory levels. I think they feel like there's another better one right around the corner, in my honest opinion. They're a little bit more particular come inspection time, because they know, again, sellers really want to sell their property. And so buyers, things are kind of in their favor right now. Interest rates are still pretty good. Builders, in our area, builders, we're growing a ton, like I said. And so it does make it a little bit harder for existings because builders have a little bit, deviation in that price. And right now they're trying to push inventory. So it makes it a little bit harder for existing market. But for a buyer, it's great because there's a lot of incentives that builders are offering. And the price is great. You can get a lot of house right now for $400,000.
For the buyer, it might be even overwhelming to be able to navigate all these choices and features and amenities with this competitive. Sounds like a competitive marketplace.
One thing that we try to do on our end, because it can be very overwhelming, is we sit down with them at the very beginning and we talk about what their top wants are, what their top needs are in a home. And there's a lot of times we have to reel them back in and say, okay, remember, let's, and go over that list again, because you do have some buyers that will start to deviate, and it does make our job a little bit harder, and it makes it even more confusing for them. So as long as you have that list at the very beginning and you kind of stick to that, a lot of our buyers do make a choice sooner than later, just because, we constantly remind them of what their needs are.
And if you were to look back at 2019, here we are getting ready to close it out. Well, did anything surprise you about this past year, or how do you see it just in general?
Well, I didn't know I was going to Compass, that's for sure. I was,
at the beginning of the year.
At the beginning of the year, I did not know that was going to be, but again, this is a fairly new, company in Houston, and it's exploding. And I got, I was blessed with being able to launch it in Fort Bend, and I've been thrilled ever since. It's been a great change.
And then looking ahead, 2020, do you see any surprises, or what's your gut feel?
I think it's probably going to stay a buyer's market for some time. Like I tell my listings, let's do what we can on our end. I'm going to market as hard as I can, but just know it's not going to probably turn in 30 days. Sometimes, you have to stay steadfast. Be confident in your pricing. You don't want to overprice, obviously, right now. Make sure you're doing the due diligence on the front side, and just be open. It all comes back down to communication, honestly. As long as you're consistently talking to your sellers, letting them know what's going on with the market, constantly selling them comps, because if you're not talking to them, they obviously they think that you're not doing anything for them. And so, keep up that communication. But my gut feeling is it's probably going to stay buyer's market for a little bit longer.
And as you've been in the real estate profession now quite a while, what are some of the things that you do? And maybe there's someone that just started real estate or is thinking about the profession. What are some of the things that you do? You seem very detail-oriented. I don't know, but what do you...
Just a tad.
Just a tad.
Yeah.
What do you do to stay steady and to be successful all these many years? If maybe 1 or 2 core principles that have served you that you continue to do over and over.
It's I tell people all the time, it doesn't cost a lot of money to start in real estate. It really doesn't. It's just work ethic. I was pregnant when I was 8 months pregnant when I got my license. And so I didn't work essentially for the first 3 or 4 months of getting of having my license and then having the baby. But I actually went door to door. I mean, I was old school. I would take flyers. I didn't have a whole lot of money to put towards this. It was a new career that I was trying out. And it was amazing. On that one street, I ended up selling 7 homes in 1 year on that one street. So I tell people you can do it. It's just consistency. I would actually hit homes every 3 to 4 weeks, and I got to where I was helping plant flowers in some of these people's front yards with an elderly person or something. And so word spreads. People just want somebody they can trust. So if you're first starting out, just constantly be consistent in whatever you're doing, whatever it is, whether it's a handwritten note to your sphere of influence or it's easy. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and as you grow, be setting money aside to put towards your marketing at that point. But we have about 85% referral. So it's amazing.
And when you plan your day, week, month, even goals for 2020, do you make a list?
I do. I'm really bad about making them in my head.
So you write down your list of
I've been trying to
to-dos.
get better, but this is my thing, is it consistently changes because the market changes. So, for instance, I honestly wouldn't have known it would have been a buyer's market at the end of the year. It didn't start out like that. And so your goals have to change as well. We have to kind of change our mode of how we're working, how we're marketing. I started marketing a lot towards apartment complexes just because you have a lot of people that rent is crazy high and they can actually go out and get a mortgage for less. So, you kind of have to change it up and but that should change throughout the year.
And Elizabeth, with the last few seconds, what else would you like people to know? And of course, how can they reach you?
Just that we work hard. I mean, I tell my clients all the time, I'm literally 24/7. Some realtors think I'm crazy for saying that, but, there's some of my clients that they can't talk to, me until late in the evening. So, communication is huge. We know the area really, really well. I'm part of the school systems in the areas. I'm on a PTO board and have young children, so that's really important to us. And, just to reach out to us. Our website's currently under construction. They can still go to it, but it is being, Compass is kind of revamping that for us. But that's www.bartyrealestate.com, or just you can always email us at bartyrealestategroup@compass.com.
If they want to give you a call.
Yep, that's 713-385-7730. That is my direct line. Again, people think I'm crazy, but, it's the fastest way to get to me. And know that when you work with our group, you are literally going to work with my husband and I. We're not, passing you off to somebody else. We really like that relationship. You become family for us, and utilize the phone number. I'll answer.
And he's probably listening to the show right now.
He probably is, yes.
No doubt. And Bartee is spelled Bartee. Give Elizabeth a call at 713-385-7730. Elizabeth, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. That was fun.
It is fun all the time. We're coming right back with even more. Stay with us, please. Cyber criminals are on the offensive. In real estate, the average loss of a wire fraud scheme is $130,000. How do we fight these risks? Establish a good defense. At Stewart Insurance, we believe there are two sides to a formidable defense. Manage the risk, offset the risk with insurance. Concerned if your insurance is offsetting the cyber risk? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if you are properly insured. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827, 866-798-2827. And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Here we go. Yet again, tremendous real estate professionals are all around us here today. We have Erica Santana and Peo Rubio making a return visit with Texas Key Holders Real Estate. Hey, guys, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. Happy to be back. It took us a little while to get back, but we're here.
Well,
Glad we're back.
we made it work to get it happening by the end of the year. But first, Pale, let's tell people about Texas Key Holders and the area that you cover.
Sure, Bill. It's a brand new company. We strategically wanted to be on the east side of 45 near the Woodlands, only because on that side of the freeway there is not a single brick and mortar real estate company. So we wanted to be on that side of 45 to provide a service that we think is lacking on that side of Spring, and put it right in the middle of Rayford between 45 and the Grand Parkway. So it's going to be easily accessible to that entire area.
And certainly the Grand Parkway has been a magnificent addition here. I don't know when it opened up, but I really just found out about it last year. But it's been a tremendous asset to the real estate market all over that area.
Absolutely. It was just incredible what it did to our area. Having access to a lot of land that didn't really have a main thoroughway to connect to just basically opened up that whole area. And we've seen it now develop even further, where they opened up a lot more acreage to build new homes just recently.
And if you were to speculate, Peo, as far as next year, I mean, I know you've done your research with this company, but when you think about what's going to happen next year, what's your feeling?
You just continue to see a lot of growth, and essentially what the area has seen is that the schools are being overcrowded, and now the school district stepped in and they're starting to gear towards building more schools because of the amount of growth that we've had in the area. We just recently opened last year the brand new high school, Grand Oaks High School, and that has already reached its capacity, and they're having to open up another bond to help accommodate even more growth in the area.
I like the name of the company, Texas Key Holder. I'm going to be thinking about that when I go back to my house tonight and put the key in the door, because the key holder, that's our home, or the home that we're going to buy, right?
Absolutely. You know, we're your key to everything real estate. So anytime you need anything real estate related, you know, you can definitely call us.
That sounds like that's worth repeating. Your key to everything real estate, right, Erica?
Right.
So you guys are working hand in hand with this company, Texas Key Holders. Let's tell people about what you're doing there, Erica.
Well, I am the broker of the firm, and like Peo said, it's a new firm, and we're excited to open up coming this February. We have our grand opening, and we are centrally located there in the Spring area on the east side, and that Grand Parkway has connected us over to also other service areas, New Caney and Porter, and that whole far northeast area as well.
It's kind of fascinating when we think about growth going on right here in this city. And I was just in San Antonio the other day. It seems like many of our Texas cities are exploding, especially Houston, though. Let's tell people, Erica, as far as your area, let's say for the sellers in this area that you're serving, what's it like for sellers right now? And let's touch upon the buyers as well.
Okay. It is a competitive market currently among sellers. We do have higher inventory than usual, so the turnover isn't as quick, but there's still a lot of interest there. We have so much new construction in the area that's also affecting the resales, but new construction there in the area has been booming. So for the builders, it's going great. Some of the resales, it's just a little slower.
And when we think about the new construction, the first thing that jumped into my mind, I like the idea of a new home, period. Mm-hmm. And I think people that are like me, that have homes that were built, and maybe it's not that long ago, 92 or even later, or earlier than that, just the idea of a new home without having to fix stuff right there is one of the triggers for people moving, I think.
Absolutely. There's the new home construction, along with all the amenities that the communities are offering, that also brings people into the area. But the new home, you have nothing to do to it, just move in, bring in your things, and all the warranties that come with it, wall to wall, as well as the structural, mechanical warranties that come with it.
Maybe put up a few window coverings, but like you said, I love the idea of the warranties. Give us an idea of the range of the price points of this new construction that's in your area.
The smaller homes would begin in the mid 200s, and they can range anywhere up to 700 to 800, depending on the community. We have several communities in the area, so we have the Falls at Imperial Oaks, and then you range over to the area Harmony and the Woodson Reserve as well.
And if we have people that are listening, again, from outside the Houston area, the area that we are talking about is northwest of the center of town. Is that correct?
Northeast.
Northeast. Okay,
northeast.
Sorry about that. So northeast, but if we look at Houston in the center, northeast is where we're talking about. And also, Peo, what are some of the things when you think about this past year, that 2019? How did it work out for your company? Sounds like you have made some changes there at the end of the year, trimmed the course of the ship.
Yes, 2019 has been a great year for us. At the beginning of the year, we just kind of didn't. We were still with Remax at the time, and Erica ended up leaving in February and opened up the company, and I ended up leaving in March, and so we joined together and opened it up. We started out with just working from home. We wanted to find the right place and the right time, and it came up for us maybe about 2 months ago while we were watching a baseball game at the Houston Astros. We were talking about leasing or buying, and just happened to look online and found the perfect place that we're going to call our office now. We are currently doing construction on the house right now, on the property, and we do plan to open up in February.
So that grand opening, we'll be looking for those. Lynn Riddle and I will be looking for our invitations. So,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So those are forthcoming. That sounds very exciting. When you look ahead as far as real estate in 2020 coming up, do you see anything on the horizon that might be surprising, or how are you preparing for next year?
Real estate it's very local, and even in Houston, what's going on in Sugar Land and Dickinson and the East Side, it's all very local. And what we're seeing in our area, it's the new home sales is just booming. It's really, really booming. It's the growth. You just can't. The new home builders, they just can't keep up with the growth on that side of town for us. Like Erica said, the resales they're still selling, but they're taking a little bit longer to sell. The single stories in our area are selling in about 30 days. The 2-story homes are more like at 90 days when they're selling, which is still a good market, but we usually see things move faster in our area.
It sounds like a great opportunity once again for that buyer. And also, as far as competition goes, competition usually serves the consumer, so that if I have a home that's been around for a while and I'm competing with the new home person, I might have to work extra hard to get my house looking great, repaired properly. But then again, I might have the advantage of grown-in trees in a shaded neighborhood, so to speak. So there's always a toss-up. My son bought a home in San Antonio recently. I said, hey, it's never going to be perfect, but you have to put all the things that you want in a priority and then get the best home for the dollar.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that we always talk to our clients about is, look, if you're going to be looking for something that's brand new, you come in and it's turnkey, then a new home, it's going to be the way to go. But if you're looking for something that's more established, got the nice mature trees and stuff like that, you might look at a resale, and it's not that you're getting less quality, it's just that you're getting a little bit older home.
The flip side, too, sometimes the resale is in a better location, maybe proximate to a highway or something else. And in fact, going back to this little example, in his home, which is maybe 7 years old that he purchased, when the heater went on, I barely heard it. My home, built in 1992, I'm like, the heater's on again.
Absolutely.
So better insulation, radiant heat barriers, all kinds of things come into play.
Yep.
But you help people all the time. You make it easy.
Yeah, absolutely. If they reach out to us, we do have a great connection with the new home sales builders. Perry Homes, we've been dealing with them, working with them recently. They currently have an option where they're giving you up to $10,000 closing costs, and then there's some additional incentives that we can help as well with the blinds, and also with garage door openers and things like that. If you reach out to us, we definitely have a great working relationship with them, and we can make sure and we get you in a nice new home.
And Peo, let's say with the last few seconds or so, what else would you like people to know? How can they reach you? And we're going to ask Erica the same thing.
Absolutely. If you want to reach out to us, I'm always answer my phone calls. If I'm currently with the client, I will return your message. My number is 832-638-9166. Again, 832-638-9166.
And you know what I like about you, Peo? When I call that number, you answered. I mean,
Absolutely.
I called you like a month and a half ago. I said, hey, Peo, bam, you pick it up right away. And Erica, let's tell people a final word from you, and how can they reach you? Erica Santana. That's an easy name to remember. I love that, yes.
Yeah. The same. I'm easy to reach as well, and always eager to help sellers and buyers. And my contact number is the 281-924-5553.
281-924-5553. Erica Santana. Thank you, Erica. And Peo, we're going to come right back with even more. Stay with us, please. If you are a real estate professional, please listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, home buyers, sellers, and title agents, and their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your real estate business is properly insured. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Welcome back to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Bill Nampick here, and now with John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. Here we are again, John. Fantastic as we move along, isn't it?
Every show gets better, Bill. Every show gets better.
Man, it's amazing. So let's tell people, Stewart Insurance, you're there helping people 24/7, all the time. You and your company, your fine team led by Tom Carpentier, leading the company, as I say, sometimes in a magnificent way, right?
Absolutely.
So what's the latest?
Well, last week, Bill, we were talking about a survey that we did to independent real estate brokers. And one of the questions we asked was what kind of information they would find helpful. And they talked about the fact that they really had an interest in sales and marketing. So we wanted to start to share some tidbits here and there on some selling information that might help our real estate broker friends and our realtor friends be a bit more successful. So last week we talked a bit about this idea of a congruence model, that there are 5 elements of selling that when they come closer together or move into congruence, we have a better chance of being successful. And those were your viewing of selling, your view of your abilities, what your values are, your commitment to the activities necessary to be successful, and then belief in your product. And as we've seen from and heard from our guests today, they all are very congruent in what they do. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about a process. So the congruence model came from a company called Integrity Selling that we've talked about in a book, Integrity Selling for the 21st Century by Ron Willingham. He also has a process called 8 Inc., and that's his acronym. And most selling processes or selling systems have a process, but his is really easy to follow, really easy to remember, and it lets you know when it's time to move to the next level. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover today, Bill, was a little bit about that process.
And when we think about this, I'm thinking in particular of some friends of mine in the air that are airline pilots, in fact, international airline pilots, and there's so many things that are at play there. And I say, boy, what if something goes wrong? What if the engine, all these things, and there's so many controls, but it comes down to they're prepared for almost anything because of just what you're saying. Systems and procedures are in place so that when something does go wrong or an opportunity presents itself, maybe to go faster or whatever, they are not surprised. They stay steadfast and they follow the systems and procedures.
Well, that's the beauty of any sales process, but 8 Inc. in particular is if you do get off track or you find out that maybe you're not as far along as you thought you were in the discussion, you can come back around and pick back up to find out where you might have left off.
And in fact, today, as we've talked to real estate, all the real estate professionals we're talking to have goals and things in place for the upcoming year, things that they want to achieve. Having the systems and procedures are very important. And like you said, they have to be nimble so that when something happens, we'll shift to this idea.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it allows you to kind of move along. And the beauty of the process is whether it's a 6-month closing or a 6-minute closing, that sales process is still going to be the same. Again, it was 8 Inc., AIDINC. And the A stands for approach. So you've got to build rapport with folks when you meet them. So every time that you connect with a prospect or a client, you still want to have some semblance of an approach, an idea of what's going on in their life. And as you get to know that individual, you'll know how much or how little is important to them, but you still have to build that rapport each time that you have the the conversation. The I is for interview. So once you've built that approach, you've got to find out what their needs are, what their challenges are, or maybe what they don't know what that pain is yet. But we can, find out what that pain is, so that we can hopefully help solve that. So the next one would be interview. The D is demonstrate. So once we have an idea of what that pain is, what that opportunity is, then we need to be able to show our prospect how we can help them solve that problem. The I is an I in validate. So you think about it, you validate yourself and your company throughout the process. So you're always making sure that they're comfortable with who you are and that you are the subject matter expert. The N is negotiate. So that's where you're going to work together through any issues so both parties are happy with where they want to go. He talks about in the book, you want to make sure that you work through the issue so that the parties get to where they want to go and that the buyer wants to buy. So if the buyer wants to buy, the negotiation process is pretty easy. And then the close is we've both decided that this is the right decision. So all you're doing is helping the buyer make that decision.
And throughout the real estate process, there are so many details, so many components to it, and it doesn't always go smoothly. There's unexpected things. So to stay on course is so important.
Absolutely. We learned earlier about that one of the things that's been popular in Fort Bend are backyard patios and cooking stations and outdoor kitchens, and also if
swimming pools
pools. And if
I need
we
a pool
didn't,
at my house,
you
John,
do need
yeah.
a pool with your new deck. But if we didn't find out that really what was important to Bill Napick was a swimming pool, and we start showing homes that maybe don't have them, then we go back to the interview process to find out where we missed, and now we determine that that's important to Bill, and now we can demonstrate or show Bill some additional homes where the swimming pool is prevalent.
So many things come into play. Let's tell people, what else, John, would you like them to know before we close out this segment?
Well, first of all, they can always reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. And we are a full-service insurance broker. We're part of the Stewart Title family, so we can help with your home insurance, your auto, your flood, your wind, your motorcycle, and on the business side for real estate brokers and for title and attorney agents, we can help them with their errors and omissions, professional liability, cyber, business owners, policies, workers' compensation.
And not only that, when we think about brokers in the real estate profession, you're helping them right here in Houston with these various policies and risk assessment, as well as people that are like our guest from Pennsylvania.
Absolutely.
You're serving, your insurance qualifications are all over the United States. So whoever's listening.
This afternoon, I'm doing a business owner's policy quote for a realtor and a broker based in the Heights. Yesterday afternoon, Tom Carpentier and I had a conversation with a broker in Suffolk County, New York, and we're going to be working with him.
There you go. And the number again is?
866-798-2827.
Sounds like you said 866-798-2827.
I did.
How about that? We're coming right back. Thank you, John Bramlett, with even more. Stay with us, please. And as we wind up the show, I say this all the time, stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. I'll say it again. Stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer wherever you are. You may be in the Woodlands, you may be in the Heights, wherever you are. The reason I say it is because our business development people are there to be resources for real estate professionals far and wide, even in other states as well. However, right now I have Lynn Riddle right here. Lynn, let's tell people about the area that you serve at Stewart Title as a business development officer, and an A+ one, by the way.
Yes, sir, that's right. I serve the Champions Spring area, and we're located on Louetta, just west of Champion Forest Boulevard.
And that's a very nice area, quite a growing area as well, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
So as far as one of the things that I say is that you and the rest of our team are doing events. And by the way, this radio show is an event too that we do once a week where you guys are helping us all the time. But you do other things from an educational standpoint. What do you have coming up that we might want to know about?
I have several classes coming up. The first one is going to be on December 12th. It's a tech training class, and that is going to be at Lupe Tortilla in Tomball, located on Highway 249. Then we also partner with HAR. You know, they use our legacy location office. We basically are the hosts. So realtors can register through HAR. We do it at the legacy location more to service the North and Northwest realtors so they don't have to drive to Southwest Houston. But we have the HAR intermediary and multiple offer class, and those are MCE credit.
And if they want to reach out to you for that, what should they do?
They can email me. They do need to know that they have to register through the HAR website. So they need to go on and register and pay. And then basically they come and we make them comfortable. We serve them food and we tell them a little bit about all of our Northwest locations.
I like the lupe tortilla part of it. Will there be food involved?
Of course. You know we have to feed our realtors, Bill.
That sounds good. What if someone wants to call you and find out more about this, or next year, 2020, you're jam-packed with super things going on?
We are. And the first thing, obviously, is Dr. Ted Jones' economic forecast. And for the Northwest area, it's going to be on January 17th at Gaucho's Do Sul restaurant.
And by
in the
the
Vintage.
way,
Yes.
Dr. Ted C. Jones, our chief economist at Stewart Title, will be on the show next week, too. So we'll get a little preview of that.
Wonderful.
People have been excited about that. Lynn, your phone number again is?
My phone number is 346-225-7993.
And thank you so much for bringing Peo and Erica here to the show today. We also want to talk about Michelle Racinos, who brought Elizabeth here to the show. Michelle is serving our Fort Bend County. You can reach Michelle at 346-350-9756. Just Google Stewart Title in Fort Bend. Michelle Racinos on the radar. And now, before we close out the show, Elizabeth Barty is back on with Barty Real Estate Group and Compass. Elizabeth, before we close things down on the show, what else should we know, and how can people reach you?
Cell phone number is 713-385-7730. Again, it's 713-385-7730. Happy to help you anywhere in Houston, but we focus on Fort Bend, and again, that's in the southwest Houston area.
That sounds good. It's going to be a fun year, too. Everybody's ready for it, highly anticipated. So it's going to be good.
Absolutely, and look for a Compass office in Fort Bend coming soon. So fingers crossed that will be
So we're going to get maybe
coming.
an invitation to that one as well.
Absolutely. Fingers crossed, yes.
That will be awesome. And he's back, Peo Rubio and Erica Santana. I can't forget Erica's last name, even if I wanted to. Hey, Peo, welcome back.
Thanks, Bill.
Erica.
Hello.
Here we go. So before we close things out, Peo, what else should we know, and how can they reach you?
You could reach me at my cell phone number. Like I said, I stay on my phone. My number is 832-638-9166. That's the easiest way to reach me. You could reach me by text or voicemail. I do answer the majority of my calls, and if I don't, I will return your call back.
There you go. Peo Rubio at 832-638-9166. Texas Keyholders Real Estate. Erica, how can people reach you?
They can reach me directly on my cell phone number. It's 281-924-5553.
Pretty exciting year ahead, isn't it?
It is. Very
And
exciting.
not only that, before we leave 2019, I thought it was a great year, and it was a tremendous year in so many ways. I appreciated 2019. Not that anybody cares, just thought I'd say that. In the meantime, thank you all for being on the show. Should people be sad that the show is ending at the time of broadcast, Erica?
No.
Of course not, because the show never really ends. It's always at stewart.com/Houston. That's right, you can hear any and all the shows. We also want to say hello to Caitlin Koronek, who is doing tremendous work at our Fort Bend offices there. She is the branch operations manager of the Fort Bend division. I know you want to close your next real estate transaction, especially if you're in that area. Look up Caitlin Koronek. She's right there at Stewart Title, serving in a tremendous way for 10 years, I hear. In the meantime, stewart.com/Houston. Any and all the shows, yes, they're right there. Stewart.com/Houston. And don't forget, Dr. Ted C. Jones, Chief Economist with Stewart Title, will be on next week. He will be giving us predictions, a review of 2019, and so much more. Thank you for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We'll see you next week. And thank you to all our guests. Until next week, bye-bye.